Joining us now is Daniel Lifshitz, grandson of Yocheved, who was released from captivity at the beginning of the war, and Oded, who died in captivity and was returned in a deal with the murdered Biba's children. Shalom.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for welcoming me.
So you're talking to us from the Knesset, and you're there with your grandmother, Yocheved. How's she doing?
For my grandmother, physically she recovered, but mentally she said at the first days she will be still in the tunnel until the last hostage will be back home. As well with Matan Sangauker, she met him in the tunnels, and she also brought information that he's kidnapped and alive back here. And as well, I just spoke with her about David and Ariel Cunio, and about David Cunio, how 2 weeks before October 7 they met, and what was their last conversation about his twins, and that she gave them some cherry tomatoes. So they are as family for her. She was saying how much David was coming together with his twin brother Eitan. When I was to her, how they came to her and visit her. So she's keep on going. She will be 87 on September 1st. And as much as it's devastated the end of what happened with my grandfather there, for my grandmother, still 9 family members, because Kibbutz Nir Oz is one big family for her, are still in Gaza.
And it's important to remember your grandfather came back in a coffin, but he was kidnapped alive.
Yes, my grandfather was kidnapped alive after he was badly injured on October 7 in Kibbutz Nir Oz at home. He was dragged outside, and they left him on the ground unconscious and bleeding because they thought they murdered him, and my grandmother thought as well that he was murdered. But after the first hostage deal taking place in November, we understood that my grandfather was taken alive to Gaza. In Gaza he met Ada Sagi that told us that he was very worried about my grandma, which that is the thing maybe that kept him alive for 20 days. Then he was at an apartment with Hana Katzir, that were in a place they didn't get medication, and after 20 days he fainted, and he was died miserably there, without medication, probably with lack of food, with a broken rib that we've lately understood that he had in the autopsy. And we didn't know his situation actually until day 502, because there was a lack of intelligence about him. And he died, and he came back in, for me, the worst convoy in the history, black mark for the international community, that couldn't help releasing babies and grandfather. With Kfir Bibas, the only baby was held hostage in the world, together with my grandfather, the only great-grandfather that was held hostage in the world. But this convoy made me feeling so proud for being Jewish. When my grandfather came back, the amount of tears at every junction between Gaza and Abu Kabir, where he made the autopsy, could fill the Sea of Galilee. And that was the purpose of us, to leave no one behind. We bring everybody back, alive and deceased, to make sure this family have a closure, because every family of a hostage are hostages as well until their beloved one is back home. That's what I want also to say, how important it is to bring everyone back home.
And the question is, you're there at the Knesset demanding the return of the hostages. What could be done now? Even President Trump is saying that it's very hard to bring Hamas to release all the hostages.
So I think, first of all, the international media has to be more responsible, because we see the influence they have over Hamas with the starvation campaigns. And I'm not saying there is no starvation in Gaza, but if there is so much starvation, why to make fake campaigns with a child who has cystic fibrosis? Another thing, the declaration of the Palestinian state, that has to come if the state, the recognizing of the Palestinian state. First of all, there is a long path to there. Declare as the Arab League, immediate release of all the hostages unconditionally, permanent ceasefire, humanitarian aid into Gaza, better a fresh one and not a dry one, and Hamas has to disarm, and Hamas cannot be part of the governing in Gaza. And I think there is one thing the international community can do, is to make sure there is no reconstruction of Gaza while Hamas is not disarmed. So we can make a complete hostage deal, because Gaza is ruined. The IDF got a great victory over all the arenas he had after his failure on October 7. And now is the time that the negotiation table will work to bring back all the hostages, to make that pressure, and then to make those terms to make sure that Hamas will not be part of the future of Gaza.
And Hamas is demanding exactly the opposite. They want to see the rebuilding of Gaza before releasing all the hostages.
So I think that today the things would be different. The first thing we have to do, release all the hostages, demand all those things, and I think that we can close it on the negotiation deal with the right pressure from President Trump, also to make sure he gives all the defense Israel need, and all the other international community together with America to press the Qataris, the Turks, the Egyptians, to make sure they make the pressure of Hamas to be back on the negotiation table. And Israel and the US might fold a little bit too early the last time, because all the terms are already completed. And Ambassador Witkoff believes that also with this partial deal, he will close everything, but I hope that they will get now to a very fast, full-scale deal, although it is not easy to make it so fast, because every section to work with Hamas is hard. So as much as possible to close fast, even if it's the 60 days deal, hostage deal of Witkoff, and during that time to make sure that we have the defense for Israel and back to our DNA, which our DNA must tell the world is DNA of peace. As much as we get more security, we know how to make painful concessions for peace.
Daniel, thank you very much. We join your prayers for the return of all our hostages.
Thank you so much.